So in this problem, we're going to build a bit of a spam bot. So let's take an email address. Let's take my email address. And let's say I post this on the internet. But I don't want an automatic robot to go from every page, see my email address, and then start sending me spam. So I come up with the solution to insert the characters no spam somewhere in my email address. And presumably, a crawling spam bot won't be able to notice that this isn't actually part of my email address, and I put that in there just as a distraction. But a human will see my email address, realize that no spam isn't actually part of my email address. I mean, who would really put that there? And just email to pchapman@udacity.com. Well, what we're going to do is build our Lexer such that it matches email addresses, and the value of the token that it returns is going to remove no spam from it. So what are we going to need? We're going to need to find our tokens, and presumably we're going to have one called email. Remember that our tokens are going to use all capitalization, just as convention. And then we're going to want to define the function that matches that token. So now we have to write a regular expression that matches an email address. So the exact specifications for the email address are given in the problem specification. But to go over it briefly, we're going to have a sequence of letters with any capitalization, followed by an @ sign. And then we can have another sequence of letters followed by at least one dot, and then more letters, possibly followed by another dot and more letters, but it doesn't end on a dot. You need to have some letters. So that's kind of the verbal walkthrough. Let's start writing it out. So we're going to match the letters before the @ sign. It's going to be this chunk right here. Then we're going to match the @ sign, this bit. So this part of our regular expression is going to match everything up to the last chunk of letters. This last chunk is called the top-level domain. It's .com, .net, .edu, things like that. So we're going to map with this regular expression everything before that. And the specification for that is some letters followed by a period, and that whole thing can be repeated as many times as necessary. And at the end, we have our last bit of letters. So for whatever this matches, we're going to remove the no spam. And we're going to do that using the RE library, which you are hopefully pretty familiar with by now. This method in particular allows us to replace matching substrings with other substrings. In this case, we're going to replace all the occurrences of no spam with nothing. Also, don't forget to define the error state, where if it doesn't match anything, we're just going to skip it. And the last thing we need to write is the code that builds the Lexer and runs it on our given haystack, our given text of the web page or whatnot, of email addresses. And for that, I'm going to go to the IDE. So here I have the code I just wrote. I declare one token, that's the email. The definition matches our regular expression for email addresses and removes all the occurrences of no spam. I have something for when you hit an error where nothing is matched. And now I just need to write the code that builds the Lexer. So I'm going to basically follow what we did in lecture. This builds the Lexer. Now we need to assign it the input. And we're going to go through every token it matches and fill a list of results. I'm going to call that result. So here I go. For every token that we get, if I'm out of tokens, I'm going to break. But for all the ones that we do have, I'm going to append it to the result list and then return the result list.